Hello, I'm back to the water. My name is Beast, and today we're back with a new game for once. I am free from the skipping curse. We'll be starting SenMomo. What's the entire title even anymore? Hold on. No. Let me check what the fuck the full title is again. Sen no Hato Tsukisome no Koki. So, billowing blade storm, a Persica princess, I assume that's supposed to mean. What the fuck does Persica even mean? Anyways, let's just start it, I guess. There's a Fran translation that came out quite some time ago at this point. I hear water. I don't like water. Havica Nobilis? That's very nice. However, okay, we're fine. Early spring, thank you. The chilly breeze blowing through the imperial tomb dries my lips. The gravestones of emperors past naturally have no words for me. They merely stand motionless against the cold wind, reproachful of my long overdue arrival. I kneel at the gravestone of my mother, Empress Sewell, for the first time. Oh, we're currently in her head, I assume. Whispers of my heart conjure up memories of distant days. My mother, Empress Sewell, was a strict woman. I should probably just take like a little bit of a save here for thumbnailing purposes. Whenever she spoke of her resolve as Empress, she gazed at my young self with exceptional strength in her eyes. I hope she's not about to say Sudoku. Also, I think I'm gonna lower the volume a little bit on the voice. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I've answered this question in the same way for as long as I can remember. I recognize her voice immediately. Not the Empress's one, the girls. Mother's hand strokes my hair. The warmth of her hand is filled with much more than just her strictness. I think I recognize the voice. I'm even going to go out of my way and not look via the Senohato. I'm checking if I am correct in the voice I'm recognizing by going via the fucking Tenshi Soso VNDB page, because I just fucking know that this one's fucking Kaguya Haruka Sora, aka. Let's fucking see. Sen no Hato Tsukisome no Koki. I am right. Haha, I'm just too fucking good, you know. Just too based, you know. Zoning the fuck out again. Do that a lot today. Nice. Having lost my father at a young age, mother was my only family, as well as the object of my aspirations. Empress Sewell was revered by her people even more highly than her predecessors. Her smile brought them tranquility, and her words inspired courage within them. Her domestic affairs ran smoothly, and the citizens of the empire enjoyed an age of peace and prosperity. Furthermore, the nation's defenses were robust. A powerful artifact created by priestesses of old, the barrier generated a wall encircling the empire's lands and turned away all manner of invaders. Even if an enemy were to break through, the empire's dauntless warriors would surely scatter them. On the off chance that even they should suffer, the 3 sacred treasures bestowed upon us by Omikami would certainly protect the empire with their divine power. Neither I nor single citizens ever doubted the strength of this tripartite defense. But on that day 3 years ago, such a naive view crumbled out from under us in the blink of an eye. Imperial year 2173. An explosion set my ears ringing, and I lose my sense of equilibrium. The court lady I was just talking to is no longer moving. My mind fails to keep up with the suddenness of it all. That's right, I need to find Mother. I weave through the retainers running in panicked circles and make for the audience chamber. Now that war has broken up, the imperial family needs to take command. Have the warriors moved to engage the enemy? Have the priesthoods, magic units been assembled? My brain fails at first to process the scene before me. Even as I struggle to comprehend it, my teeth clatter, my body's overcome with terror. Mother is sitting on her throne just as always, but her head hangs lifelessly, and her divine white raiments are stained with a vivid scarlet.
Is
that a fucking robot eye? Okunogi is standing at the side of the throne. Nope, it's a weird zombie eye. In his hand there's a bloodstained dagger. Though I can't see it, I imagine fresh blood dripping from the tip.
陛下が常々おっしゃっていたではありませんか。国を守れぬとき、皇帝は命を絶つべきだと。まさにまさにまさに、今まさに、陛下はその責務を全うされたということです。素晴らしいお覚悟。さすがは名君の誉れ高き周王帝陛下とでも申し上げるべきところでしょうか。
There's always like at least one like wrinkly ass old man in these August games. This irritating laughter echoes throughout the hall.
いやいやいやいや、私の忠告を聞かぬのが悪いのです。まさに陛下の自業自得。
Get your stupid ass shoulders out of the way. I can barely read the my what.
今後はこの小此木時彦が広告を率いてまいりましょう。
最小の身で皇帝を殺めるなど。
Crashing impact blows me away. Rubble from the collapsing ceiling piles up between me and Okunogi. I can no longer reach him.
さてさて、私はこれで失礼させていただこうと思います。こう見えて忙しき身なのです。共和国の皆様方と今後について話をしなければなりませんので、貴殿下も早くお逃げになることですな。
Scream in vain as Okunogi disappears beyond the rubble. Need to tend to Mother.
姫様、
ここは危険でございます。一刻も早くご避難遊ばされませ。
Even as I try to climb over the rubble, a hand firmly grasps me from behind.
離しなさい。巫女を呼んでお母様に早く治療の技術を。
恩義が危のうございます。
Satanaka the guard seized my arms and dragged me into the underground passage. I scream and scream and scream myself hoarse, but the audience chamber steadily recedes into the distance. The more I struggled, the more I'm faced with my own powerlessness. I remember little of what happened afterwards. All I can recall is being halfway dragged through a damp, dark tunnel. Before I know it, I'm standing at the Imperial Tomb. Accompanying me is Satanaka, head of my ladies in waiting. The shocking sight of the city instantly arouses my wavering consciousness. I assume that big-ass fucking stone egg is supposed to be what's, like, keeping the barrier intact, and it is not supposed to look like that. It's just a hunch. What fucking Sun Wukong can jump out of that? In case there were people that did not care for Touhard and therefore have not kept up with that series, but are watching this now. During like the last two routes, aka after I fucking got back to Touhard after fucking Futamata Denai, I for some reason decided to start reading out the fucking first chapter of Journey to the West. Like, essentially, like, the first chapter is wrong, first book. Which is essentially all the Monkey King stuff. And, yeah. Don't worry, I'm not all the way back here. I'm over here on this page. I've made it all the way to page 64, with the start of it being roughly. Let's get past the introduction, or is the introduction not numbered with proper pages? I also don't need the note on the. I also don't need this. Chapter 1. Okay, never mind. The page numbers start on the start of chapter 1 instead of the introductory word. And I got like 4 pages in on my own because I am terrible when it comes to reading shit. 60 whole pages in the time it took to skip the Reddit text of 2 routes. Like, let's remember how many fucking routes there are in Touhard. Akari, Shiho, Serika, Multi, Serio, fucking Tomoko, Ryo, Ayaka, Aoi, fucking psychic lady. I'm terrible at remembering shit. Hold on. I think it was 12 overall if we include like the 2 DLCs, which were Serio and the fucking bro character route. Touhard VNB characters. We have Kotone, we have Ryo, we have Multi, we have Tomoko, we have Akari, we have Ayaka, we have Serika, we have Aoi, we have Lemmy, we have Shiho, and then we have Senri and Masashi in form of DLCs. That's like, I think, 12 routes. And just skipping through 2 of them, just skipping over the red text in order to get to 2 of them, led to me reading fucking 60 pages of a book. That is wild. Shocking sight to see. I already read that.
共和国が樹壁を越えてまいったのです。
The barrier is the foundation of our nation's defense, a device that generates a wall of magic surrounding our dominion. Nearly 100 members of the priesthood, headed by the exalted priestess, should have been protecting it, but it lies broken, cleaved into two. Oknogi must have destroyed it. The Republican army has made landfall at the coastline and is now marching on the Imperial Palace. The warriors will annihilate every last enemy that breaches the barrier, or so I believe, but I cannot hear the telltale sound of clashing blades from anywhere.
シンたちはどうしたの？
あの様子では戦っている者は少ないかと存じます。
I look and see that the warrior district has been utterly and thoroughly obliterated. Must have been bombed immediately after hostilities commenced. Otherwise the warriors never would have been defeated. Burial lies in shambles and the warriors have been routed. My mother, the bearer of the three sacred treasures, has been slain by Okanogi. We have nothing left with which to fight.
敵が迫っております。まずは伊勢屋に下りましょう。私めがお供いたします。
でもお母様が戦況が。
An object suddenly explodes at my feet. The sky and the earth tumble around before my eyes and shards of the stone shrapnel stab into my body. I force air into my lungs and somehow manage to stand up. A group of Republican soldiers approaches from the distance. They number 50, now 100 men. They're here to capture us.
姫、おにください。
Sadaka collapses to the ground and lies still. I stand alone before the Republican army. There's no escape for me now. I have to fight. Mustn't bring shame upon the Imperial family. But strengthened by trembling legs and somehow rise to my feet.
ここは私にお任せください。
Suddenly I hear a man's voice. It's a calm voice, one ill-suited for the battlefield. So ill-suited, in fact, that I wonder if the sight before me is but a dream. A single warrior is kneeling in front of me. I don't recognize his face.
女官は気を失っているだけです。少々こちらでお待ちください。姫様は私がお守り申し上げます。
敵は100人近くいるじゃない。いくら無人だって。
一人でも100人でもなすべきことは変わりません。姫様をお守りするため全力を尽くします。
The man speaks clearly without any hint of pretense. How can I describe the surge of emotions running through me? My heart swells with a sudden hope that I might be saved, yet another part of me laments being unable to fight alongside him. With him by my side, we could vanquish not just the soldiers before us, but every last calamity in the world. I feel a dreamlike courage begin bubbling up inside me.
忘れません。なお教えて。
An explosion erases his name before it can reach my ears.
失礼いたします。
The man takes out a hand towel and uses it to wipe my cheek. The white towel is soon stained with my blood and
姫
sweat.
様のお顔が血に濡れていては武人の働きが疑われます。
Gently places the towel in my hands with the slightest hint of a smile playing across his lips. It must be his idea of a joke. Looking back on it now, that line wasn't the least bit funny, but at the time I surely burst into peals of laughter.
すべてあなたに任せます。私を助けて。いえ、私を守りなさい。
御意。
A moment after he bows his head, the warrior soaring through the air. He lands squarely in the middle of the Republican formation. With a splendid waltz-like spin, 5 enemy soldiers are instantly rent into mere chunks of flesh. Oh, gun. Like, yes, sure, there's bombardment, so clearly there's some firepower. Some black powder, you know, and shit like that. I would have expected, like, since they were running around with swords and magic, for that to be, like, muskets. Not full-on assault rifles! The remaining soldiers blindly let loose a bestial roar of fire, but the warrior is no longer where they're aimed. Whee! Having missed their targets, the bullets instead find their mark in friendly Republican soldiers. This breeds further confusion, and the battlefield descends into pandemonium. Their firepower is practically meaningless. Not a single Republican soldier can even lay their gaze on the warrior. Oh, more blood. It happened in the blink of an eye. Like wheat stalks before a mighty tempest, the Republican soldiers are effortlessly threshed into lifeless heaps of flesh. He's a demon, being saved, and yet I tremble. I tremble with the instinctual fear known to all living creatures. But the sight feels somehow familiar. Did I see it in a dream, or perhaps read it in some book? An ardent love surges up from deep within my heart of hearts. I want nothing more in this moment than to run up to him and bury my face in his broad chest. But my body knows that I mustn't get near. The battlefield is this stage alone. I remain where its sight is dare not tread. She is really down bad for the slaughtering, isn't she? The air is perfused with the stench of gunpowder and iron. The earth is stained with rivers of blood. Oh, he's one of those people. Fucking meta sheep. The joke was there. I could not stop myself. I do not have any right to talk anyway, considering I have used Rivers of Blood once before while playing as Iron Eye, funnily enough. Yes, I'm talking about Night Rain. I did not play enough Elden Ring to ever get near Rivers of Blood. The silence is unsettling, devoid even of moans. He alone remains standing. The rice paper used to wipe his spell blade clean dances on the wind like a flower petal. Such overwhelming strength. There lies within him a beauty that defies comprehension, like that of a divine beast.
お待たせしました。
I've done absolutely nothing but watch it. My body's ablaze with hate. I'm helpless to stop my face from growing redder and redder. What is this feeling? What's wrong with me?
お怪我。
大丈夫。なんでもないから。
I look up at his face in a panic. What in the world am I doing at a time like this? I don't know what's going on anymore.
それより大義でした。早くここから逃げましょう。
お供いたし。
The man stops
どう
mid-sentence.
したの？
どうやらお供するのは難しい様子。
The man turns around with a sigh. There is nothing on the ground but a large pool of blood and the silent corpses of soldiers. All that moves is... the blood, I assume? A sharp pain stabbed through my head. I'm racked with such revulsions and nausea that it feels like I'm being turned inside out.
何これ。
そうか。やはり君は。
Perhaps my eyes are playing tricks on me, but the warrior smiles as though he were a completely different
女
person.
官を連れてお逃げください。ここは私が。
でも
早く。
あなたは。
早く。
His shout spurs me to my feet. That is the last I remember of Tenkyo. You might want to fix your audio there. The biting wind rouses me from my
あれ
reverie.
から3年か。
1 week after hostilities began, Okanogi signed an armistice with the Republic as the Empire's plenipotentiary. Thus ended the Empire's 2,000-year-long reign. Its 18 million citizens now live under Republican rule. Hostilities with the Republic were effectively over in a matter of hours, an all too swift and bitter defeat. Thereafter, Okanogi ruled the Empire as the Republic's loyal lapdog. First, he announced that the Empress Su had ended her life in atonement for the Empire's defeat. He asserted the legitimacy of his authority by claiming she had entrusted him with the Empire in her will. Then he placed some nameless girl on the imperial throne and seized authority as her regent. It was all a fabrication, of course. To cover up his misdeeds, he purged all the imperial family's most loyal retainers out of fear that the truth would come to light. There was nobody left in the imperial government who might defy Okanogi. Okanogi Tokihiko, the man who destroyed Barbarian and invited the Republican army upon our doorstep. The man who killed my mother and sold out his own country for personal gain. If not for that man, we surely would not have yielded so easily to the Republic. As the last surviving member of the imperial family, I cannot suffer him to live.
お母様、不肖の娘の最後、とくとご覧くださいませ。
March 4th. In the imperial year 2042, the Albright Republic commenced its war of aggression under the banner of liberating oppressed populaces from tyranny. Faced with the Republic's overwhelming military might, the nations it targeted were subjugated with minimal resistance. In less than 30 years of fighting, the Republic had extended its dominion over more than half the world. Yeah, because that always ends well. Toyo Ashihara no Mizugaki no Uchi no Sumarami Koto no Kuni. What the fuck? Also known simply as the Empire, a single imperial family has reigned over this extraordinary nation since its founding over 2,000 years ago. Though beset from all sides by aggressors throughout its long history, the Empire has always been protected by the magics of the barrier. People of foreign nations call it the realm under God's protection with fearful reverence. However, 3 years ago, in the imperial year 2173, the barrier suddenly ceased all functions, and in the blink of an eye, the Empire fell into the Republic's clutches. Oh, he already looks like an asshole. Less of an asshole than Okonogi. I think that was his name, right? He looks like a reasonable enough asshole. Like, yes, he's got to be a bit of an uppity prick, but he can probably be reasoned with, I would assume. The Republican Army was commanded by the Governor-General of the Republic, Warren Valentine. He remained in the Empire following the war and currently oversees its military occupation. Warren adopted a policy of indirect rule in order to govern the Empire. That is, the Empire's traditional political institutions would be preserved, even as the Republic Government-General dictates all its affairs of state. The head of the imperial state is the newly enthroned Empress Hisui. Every power is held by the Governor-General's loyal subordinate, Chancellor Okonogi Tokihiko. Okonogi unfalteringly governs in the Republic's sole interest, ruthlessly cracking down on any imperial citizens who dare to resist. Freedom of speech and the press have been greatly curtailed, and 3 years after the war, the flames of rebellion appear all but extinguished. However, the embers of resentment still yet smoldered beneath the imperial capital of Tenkyo. Sworn Blades headquarters, March 28th. I completely forgot that stiff. The red is unexpectedly fitting considering all the fucking blood that's been spilled already. Morning, 11 o'clock. Headquarters of the Sworn Blades is enveloped in an oppressive atmosphere. 20-odd warriors present are uniformly silent. Arms crossed, acting chairman of the Sworn Blades, Ino Hotori, sits in the seat of honor. She calls my name. Damn, we have a voice. I mean, we already knew we had a voice, but still. I stand and lower my gaze at the documents in my hands.
共和国から奪還した呪詛刀は8振り。技物はそのうちの1振り。東方の損害は共和国軍との戦闘による死者が3名、拘束が6名。拘束された者は即日処刑されたと密偵の稲小泉から報告がありました。
Yet again, the chances of reprisals have claimed the lives of my fellow warriors. Those men who laughed alongside me just the other day. I got my teeth holding back in the outward displays of my frustration. Hotori sadly stands up. She's also slanted for some reason. She's an old friend of mine, and while we interact casually in private, she's my superior within the Sworn Blades. The captains of the 10 squads and other top brass of the Sworn Blades all fall silent. It would be one thing to fall on the battlefield, but these men died during the mere preparatory stages of our armed uprising. Just imagining the regrets they must have pains my heart. Hotori stares resolutely forward. The flames of vengeance burn bright within her refreshing eyes.
8月8日の事件で1000、今日までの取り締まりで200。死者の無念を晴らすため私たちは戦い続ける。必ずや逆進おこのぎの手から翡翠帝王を救い申し上げようではないか。
All members present nod resolutely at Hotori's words. The purpose of the Sworn Blades is to rescue Empress Hisui, who is now Okunogi's puppet. The Emperor rules the Empire in Omikami's stead. For mere retainer to manipulate that position is unforgivable. What then do we hope to achieve after rescuing Her Own Majesty? Our plan is to establish a provisional government into the countryside. Empress Hisui will declare an independence from their empire and issue a nationwide call to arms. The words of the Empress herself will be transmitted across every last corner of the empire. The 200,000 members of the Imperial Police and Okunogi and the warriors who have yet to join the Sworn Blades will surely rise up in response. If liberation movements occur all throughout the country, even the Republic will have no choice but to sit down for negotiations. Depending on how the battle goes, it may even be possible to win our independence outright. We believe that this is the only plan capable of standing against the Empire's overwhelming forces of men and material.
翡翠帝のわす帝宮はおこのぎ配下の金吾兵により厳重に守られている。敵は2000、こちらの10倍だ。しかし皆ならばこの差が絶対的なものではないと承知しているはず。呪詛刀さえ揃えば私たちは必ずや金吾兵を打ち破ることができる。故に各院には引き続き呪詛刀を集めてもらいたい。
Spellblades are crystallizations of spell force that priestesses offer their very lives to forge. Only those born as warriors are capable of wielding them, and do not so much as scratch even when cutting through the thickest of steel. Furthermore, high-quality spellblades can confirm a myriad of blessings, such as shrouding their edge in flames or frost, or enhancing the physical abilities of the wielder. It is due to the spellblades that warriors are said to have superhuman fighting strength. With a mere ordinary blade, facing 5 enemies at once is perhaps the extent of our abilities. Ideally, we want everyone to be equipped with a spellblade by the time of our uprising, but at present they are only enough to arm half of our 200 members. Possession of spellblades was outlawed immediately after the war, and most of them were confiscated. It is said that of the approximately 2,000 spellblades in existence prior to the war, nearly 80% are in the hands of the Republican army.
言うまでもないことだが、いざ放棄となった時、腕がなまっているのでは困る。日頃の鍛錬は怠りなきように。まあ、寝ても覚めても刀ばかり振ってきた諸君のことだ。私が言うのも野暮というものか。
Laughter rises from among the warriors.
共和国の取り締まりは厳しさを増す一方だ。身辺に注意しつつ、呪詛刀の回収や情報収集に努めてほしい。以上。
All the members stand and face the altar at the head of the room. We bow once, grasp our wakizashi, and unsheathe a small portion of the blade. This is the ringing, a ritual we unfalteringly perform after every meeting.
大神の見舞いにて、法統会一同、鋼のごとき団結と皇帝陛下への聖中を誓う。制約をたがえる者あらば、その命をもってあがなうべし。聖中！
聖中！
We all release our blades at once, and the sound of guards striking sheaths echoes amidst the silence. The reverberation deep in my ears sets my soul a quiver. I'm quite fond of the indescribable resonance of the sound. Okay, so they are saying that they're loyal to like the empress that's currently on the throne, but clearly that's not like actual pink-haired main girl. Is there gonna be like an actual like conflict where like they find her but also save the empress? Now just like, well, who's the rightful ruler now? Kind of fucked here. We can't be dealing with a succession war this soon after we just got back some semblance of independence. The meeting is over, leaving only me and Hotori in the headquarters.
お疲れ様。いつも司会お願いしてごめんね。はい、お茶。
代行自らとは痛み入る。
もうやめてよ。
Hotori averts her eyes in embarrassment as I take the teacup from her. As always, I feel like the public-facing Hotori and the Hotori now alone with me are completely different people. Hotori is fairly inarticulate by nature, and she always has a stern face whenever she talks with someone other than me. She's apparently always trying her hardest to decide on the right thing to say, but the person she's talking to never seems to understand that. As a result, most people's first impression of her are that she is disagreeable or intimidating. Her bloodline, which bestows her headship of the warriors, doesn't help her imposing image either.
今日の私ちゃんと喋れてたかな。
もちろんだ。ほとりは自分が思っているよりしっかりしてる。
そうかな。
大丈夫。
With a pat on the head, Hotori smiles happily.
本当に？
大丈夫だと言ってるのがわからないのか。
I gently ruffle her hair.
ごめん。
Hotori laughs happily as she squirms beneath my hand. Hotori tenses up with a snap.
お前ら二人だけか。
The man who just came in is the vice chairman of Sworn Blades, Maki Kazuma.
なんだこりゃ。
Maki sniffs in the air in the room.
これはお取り込み中失礼したらしい。
下劣なことを言うな。これでも観察だ。それよりマキ。定例会はとっくに終わっている。試算にも程があるのではないか。
いやすまん。こっちも取り込み中だったんでな。
Also, I think this might be Kiryu. Don't quote me on it. I'ma check first. Yep. This is Kazuma. This is Kiryu. This is Kazuma. This is fucking Hume Helsing. And I guess fucking Shido from Hello Goodbye as well. But like Hume Helsing and Kiryu are the more important ones there. Not looking the least bit apologetic, Maki unfurls his favorite hand fan.
しかし終わっちまったものは仕方がない。ほら帰るとするか。
忠義の心が足りないのではないか。
ああ
Maki snaps his fan shut and taps my shoulder with it.
おいおい時田。物忘れの激しいお前に説教される筋合いはねえぞ。全部忘れちまったんだろ。武人帳を焼いた炎の色も仲間の悲鳴も皇帝陛下の顔もそのお前に忠義どうこうは言われたかないぜおい。
Just as Maki says, I have no memories from before the war. When I woke up, we'd already lost the war and I'd completely forgotten not only my own name, but even the name of the Empress. Supposedly the injuries I sustained during the war are to blame, but I don't know the finer details. Thanks to Hotori taking care of me, I'm able to go about my life without any difficulties. Because of my lack of memories, I only have a vague sense of the humiliation and sorrow of our defeat. I've lost precious family and friends, and yet all I feel is a faint and indistinct rage. Kazuma's words, I'm just a paper-mache warrior. So I'm completely lacking a warrior
俺
spirit.
の問題とお前の問題は別だ。観察として言っている。
舐めてもらっちゃ困るぜおい。こう見えても仲間の死を忘れたことはねえんだ。言われなくてもいざとなりゃ命を懸けて戦うさ。お前以上にな。
俺は規則の話をしている。
黙ってろハリコが。
マキ
Hotori raises her voice as much as she can. Maki pays no mind and puts some strength into the fan on my
記
shoulder.
憶をなくしたことは俺の不覚だ。攻めたければ攻めるがいい。
Shrug off his fan. Maki meets my defiance with his composed smirk.
時田。久しぶりに体を動かすか。
よし。喧嘩を売ったのはお前だぞ。
どっちだっていいだろう。
Kazuma's left hand slowly descends to his blade, but now the blade is thrust between us. Silent protest from Hotori. Maki slumps his shoulders.
会員同士の喧嘩はご法度。マキも時田も処罰するぞ。
おう
おっと。
What kind of inspector general forgets the rules?
試算の罰は受けてもらおう。ただいまより、呪詛塔の手入れを命じる。
おいこら。 さっきまでやる気だったじゃねえか。
監察の権限だ。
It's the Inspector General's rules. The orders. Kazuma slumps his shoulders
異
again.
論がないのなら急げ。
やれやれ。監察様にはかないませんな。
Waving his fan all the while, Maki leisurely saunters towards the arsenal. Hotari lets out a quiet breath.
仲裁してくれて助かった。
助かったじゃないよ。宗人が熱くなってどうするのよ。マキはああいう人間なんだから正面からやり合わないで。
いや、あれはすまない。
Maki is a real troublemaker as far as warriors go, but I really don't mind his maverick personality. He's the vice chairman of Sworn Blades, and more than a few of our young recruits idolize
記
him.
憶のことは気にしないで。ゆっくり直せばいいと思うから。
マキは間違っていない。張り子なのは。
自分を責めないで。
Hotari cuts me off. Her gaze betrays genuine anger. He's always so kind. You know all too well that look of hers contains feelings that go far beyond mere friendship, but I say nothing of it.
すまなかった。
Damn, it's like they threw that one out real fucking early. Oh yeah, just so you know, 2 of the girls already have the hots for him. One of whom he literally met once, and she saw him kill a bunch of people, and somehow that was the Cupid's arrow for her. Hotari's eyes linger on me for a long while before she finally relaxes her
小
expression.
鳥、この後は。
遺族にお見舞いを渡しに行くよ。
She says the relatives often curse her out whenever she visits them. Considering her position, Hotari has no choice but continue trying to apologize. Verbal abuse or not, it must truly be hard to watch over her mourning relatives.
辛い仕事だな。
私がやらなきゃならないことだから。うん、そうだ。後でお花も送ってもらっていいかな。
もちろん。
I jot down Hotari's order on the tablet computer I carry. I make my living at a flower shop now. The profession of warrior was abolished following the war, so I lost my government salary. In this day and age, everyone has to earn their keep somehow.
確かに。今日中には届けられると思う。
よろしくね、宗人。
Part ways with Hotari and leave the Sworn Blades headquarters. The entrance is hidden in the basement of a general store. You go through the secret door, pass in front of the employee who doubles as a lookout, and finally emerge outside. The dusty outside air fills up my throat. Well, let's just casually go through a bunch of swords here. In the morning, Yogarasu district is still bleary-eyed and drowsy. The shanty town of assorted shops is slowly making its preparations to open in the evening. The wares run the gamut from goods to surplus purchased from the military and even items salvaged from the wreck to the air raids. Hop on the streetcar from Yogarasu district and make for Kojiya Flowers, my workplace and current residence. The tangular cityscape moving past the windows looks as dismal as usual. Here Republican soldiers are making a show of force. There Okanogi's Imperial Police are arresting innocents. The Imperial Police are a security force formed of the local population that Okanogi founded after the war. And yet they crack down only on fellow Imperials, never so much as laying a finger on Republican citizens. There's the daily life in Tokyo. Streetcar passengers all stifle their emotions as they gaze upon it. They are well aware that even a display of public outrage is an act that could easily cost them their lives. Even I do nothing but silently observe this vicious abuse of power. Until the time comes for the Sworn Blades to rise up, I can't be causing unnecessary commotion.
今戻りました。
I call out to the storefront, but there's no response. Perhaps he's in the warehouse out back.
店長。店長。あ。
The manager is buried head deep in white chrysanthemums. The manager of Kojiya Flowers, Inui Takahito. Age, mid-30s, pale, transparent skin, hair whose unrivaled softness draws the ire of women everywhere. The sharp slit-like eyes that peek through his bangs are spine-chillingly captivating. His fragile, fleeting presence conjures up an image of an erudite literary scholar or a genius blade master stricken with consumption. There are more than a few young damsels who frequent the store just to see him. That said, he is sickly in appearance only. Save for his unfortunate liver, he is the spitting image of excellent health. Incidentally, he is my employer, my landlord, and the benefactor who took me in after I was injured during the war.
ソジン君。
縁起でもないですから白菊の中で寝ないでください。
いやもうだって白菊の注文が多いと気がめいるじゃないですか。
まあ気持ちはわかります。わかるのですが、今日もほとりから白菊の注文です。
ああ、そうですか。ご愁傷様です。
Manager quietly closes his eyes and recites a prayer. Once a priest, always a priest, it seems.
配達他にもありますか？
ええ、頼みます。荷物は全部積んでおきました。
了解です。
Give the store's delivery list a once over. Most of our orders come from expatriates or Republican-oriented restaurants. They're usually the flashy, ostentatious type of flowers, presumably for decorating lavish banquets. Viewers can only imagine what they must be like nowadays. What that must be like nowadays. Just by looking at our orders, one can get a vague sense of the state Tenkyo is in.
ソジン君、元気出して。
ありがとうございます。大丈夫です。元気ですから。
そうですか。気のせいでしたらいいんですが。ああ、そうだ。なんでしたら、あなたの好きなうなじ見せてあげてもいいですよ。
いや、別にうなじは。
ほら、元気出た？出たです。
ああ、もう、鬱陶しい。
Pin down the manager's head as he tries to thrust his neck towards me.
いたたたた。病人には優しく。
健康有料児ですよね。
But truth be told, I really am feeling a bit down. The Sworn Blade lost some good men, and there was an incident with Maki about my memories. The manager always sees right through me.
そうそう。
Manager suddenly returns back to
今日
normal.
は桃の花が入荷したんです。今年の初物ですよ。
言われてみれば、もうすぐ月染めの季節ですね。
I look at the calendar on the wall. And the Empire, we call this time in late March when peach flowers bloom, the season of Persica. The time of the year everyone looks forward to.
今年は南の方もまだ寒いらしくて、入荷が遅れていたんです。
町の桃もまだつぼみが硬かったですね。月染め祭までには咲くといいんですけど。
再来週の土日ですからね。どうでしょうか。桃が咲かない月染め祭なんて黄身がない目玉焼きみたいなものですしね。はい、これは初物入荷の記念に。
He hands me a single Persica branch. The flowers are spread too wide, so they've lost their value as merchandise. Bring it to my face, and a sweet, refreshing aroma tickles my nostrils. Puts me in a curious mood, a heart-wrenching yet soothing medley of bittersweet feelings.
ありがとうございます。好きなんです、桃。
顔を見ているとわかります。
どうしてですかね。自分でも謎なんですが。
Persica blossoms are the national flower of the empire. They say that the first empress, Hime no Mikoto, was especially enamored with them. Whether with cuisine or with the landscapes, peaches in springtime are a reflexive association that all imperials share in common. Around this time, store shelves overflow with every manner of Persica-themed products, and all the popular songs feature fluttering peach blossoms in their lyrics.
ソジン君、陛下が映っていますよ。
I checked, and sure enough, Empress Hisui's visage is displayed on the television. Looks like they're broadcasting some sort of ceremony. Oh, they're probably sisters. It's still snowing, so it must be somewhere up north. She may be behind the screen, but I'm still standing before Her Majesty. Straight my posture and face the screen head on.
先の戦争では多くの国民がかけがえのない命を落としました。
I also recognize this voice.
あれから3年が経ちますが、未だ敗戦の傷は深く、多くの人々の暮らしに困難が生じていることを思うと
But I
心が痛
recognize
み
it.
ます。
So I'm gonna check. Apparently there's like 2 different fucking voice actresses for her. One for normal, one for console. I have to check which is the one that this one is. Oh. Rena Royale apparently. Ikuyo in Rena Royale. Did not really hear her. No. So it's gotta be someone else. Also, Mizuki in Happiness Sakura Celebration. Oh nope, there we go. That I heard her. It's fucking Sylvia as well. I heard it's like Sylvia in like the more serious tone. Oh, never mind. It is the same voice actress. It's just that she decided to use another one of her aliases when it came. No, her actual name for the console release. Like the original release of this, she used her alias. The console release, real name, apparently.
全ての国民が安心して日々を送ることができるよう、国民皆が心を一つに寄り添っていくことを願ってやみません。また、広告政府には共和国の皆さんと手を取り合い、一日も早い復興がなされることを強く望みます。
Vigorous applause follows. Empress Hisui is the one and only child of Empress Suo, who took her own life as penance for our defeat. Her presence has greatly soothed the hearts of many citizens hurt by the war. Her unfadingly lovely figure has been likened to that of a daffodil, and she inspires widespread adoration.
共和国人と手を取り合ってですか。
陛下はおこのぎに言わされているだけです。お心の内では共和国に憤っていらっしゃるに違いありません。
そうであってほしいですね。陛下が共和国を受け入れてしまわれたら、命を懸けて戦っている武人がかわいそうです。
Sworn blades number around 200 men, 200 strong. But no matter how exemplary our martial prowess might be, we stand no chance in a head-on confrontation with the Republican army. Even so, more than a few warriors yearn for precisely such a showdown. If our battle is hopeless either way, let us be scattered in noble fashion. Let us face the Republican army as proud loyalists, be it an honorable end befitting a warrior. Such a ruinous aesthetic seeking solace in perdition. Can't quite bring myself to sympathize with it. A true display of fealty to the imperial family would entail fighting for the empire's restoration to the bitter end. Mocking denounces me for losing my pride along with my memories, but even so, I don't think it's right to just give up hope on the empire's restoration. A warrior's true purpose should go beyond merely dying a good death.
まずは陛下をお救い申し上げることですね。
She don't need rescue. She's now been captured. The TV one ain't the real one.
おこのぎがいなくなれば、きっとお心の内を明かしてくださるはずです。
そうですね。くじけずに頑張っていきましょう。私も微力ながら応援しますよ。
Despite being a civilian, the manager cooperates with the Sworn Blades. His knowledge of magics makes him a reliable ally when somebody's injured and needs a healer who doesn't ask questions.
では、配達よろしくお願いします。
あ、今夜なんですが、配達が終わったら遠回りしていいですか？
もちろん。それじゃあ、店は私が閉めておきます。
ありがとうございます。では。
I take care of Hotri's order first, then get to the others one by one. The radio provides a steady flow of the usual bad news all the while. Imperial police exposes group suspected of seditious activities. Man arrested for attempted battery against Republican citizen. Expansion of Republican army facilities to maintain public safety. Long story short, Okanogi is oppressing his people and brown-nosing the Republic. I cast my gaze outward in irritation. See the Republican military uniforms here and there and the throngs visible from the car window. Imperials typically keep their distance from Republicans to avoid trouble. My heart burns with disgrace when I recall the gaze Imperial citizens direct at us. Pick up speed, trying to shake off this gloom in my chest. Finished about half of the deliveries and arrived on the hill overlooking the Imperial Tomb to take a break. This place provides an unbroken view of Tenkyo. It's a place I often visit when I have a spare moment between jobs. Pass by a mourner with a downturned expression and find a spot with a nice view. First things my gaze falls upon are the Imperial Palace surrounded by a wall of stone and the destroyed edifice of the barrier. The barrier protected the Empire from outside invaders for 2,000 years, but immediately after the war began it was sundered without warning. Its tragic silhouette is visible from everywhere in the city, serving as an omnipresent symbol of our defeat. All the land within a 2-kilometer radius of the Imperial Palace is now under Republican occupation, and entry requires a Republic-issued visa. This zone contains the Republic Government General, among other Republic facilities, with a garrison of around 20,000 soldiers to provide security. But in the way, the Imperial Palace is constantly surrounded by overwhelming military force. Her Majesty's residence is surrounded by invaders with their guns pointed inwards. A sight that symbolizes the meaning of defeat in every sense of the word. Once revered as stalwart guardians of the people, the warriors are now treated like war criminals for a role in the Empire's defeat. Scornful gazes of people directed at the warriors are not unlike those given to a stray dog rummaging for scrap. Because Emperor Suo made a noble and befitting end, the vitriol that we face is particularly harsh. We lost only because the warriors were indolent and lazy. If the warriors hadn't been defeated, we wouldn't be suffering such hardship. Her Majesty took responsibility with her own life. The warriors should all do the same. I have no intention of rebuking such sentiments. The only way for us to reclaim our honor is to take back the Empire from the clutches of the Republic. Now more than ever is the time to fight with all my body and soul. I know this, yet I like the same fervent zeal that Hotri and all the other Sworn Blades possess. Looks like snow might start falling from the dark grey sky at any moment. The thick snow clouds look like a steel canopy enveloping the world. So heavy. My body and soul are both so heavy as though bound by invisible chains. I want to break free! I want to break free! Sorry. I want to tear these chains to pieces and rampage headlong across the battlefield, and all for the sake of my lord. I'll throw off the heavy oppressive canopy that covers his world in its shadow. This is not the most cherished desire of any man born a warrior. I face Tenkyo and scream out at the top of my lungs. Were it so simple to unbind myself from these chains, I would have broken through free long ago. Did you hear that? Indeed I did. It's the pathetic howling of a dog who's lost its master. Just past 9 o'clock at night. I finished the final delivery. That's the last of my work for the flower shop. I'll use the rest of my time for the sake of the Sworn Blades. 4 days ago we received intel that the Republican army would be transporting several of the spell blades it confiscated. Sworn Blades need to retrieve them by any means necessary. As a result of our spy Koyuzu's efforts, we've managed to somewhat narrow down the likely transport routes. Tonight I plan to reconnoiter these routes myself. I continued my investigation for a while and enter an area full of businesses and high-end establishments. Due to the snow, the streets are largely silent with few passers-by. There's no oncoming traffic, but there is a 4-car motorcade in front of me. They're all the same jet black model luxury cars. Perhaps they're carrying some VIP. Light in front of us turns red. Black cars slow down one by one, and behind them I also step on the brakes. In that instant a shiver runs through my body. Standing atop the gleaming red traffic light, a single girl is perched. Shaded by the dead of night, her ceremonial dress flutters in a chill breeze as snow drifts down all around her regal silhouette. As though a miracle of creation, a breathtaking grace and a clearness that threatens to scour all impurities are united as one within her. Her crisp voice should never have reached me, but my ears still clearly captured the sound of her lips. A red spark runs up her blade and bursts at the tip. Her lithe form is sucked into the empty air. Damn! Didn't expect the Ireland special. Fucking car bomb! The girl's strike cleaves the lead car in two. The next moment she leaps high, riding the shockwave of the explosion. She lands gently on the awning of a nearby high-rise. Clutching in her hand is a spell blade emitting a pale light. Grab my sidearm and exit the van. At the same time, Imperial guards pour out from the car behind the destroyed one. Empress, he's in one of those cars. Bird out vehicle is blocking the road, so Her Majesty's car can't move right away. As I digest the gravity of the situation, the girl leaps into the air once more. When she lands, her baleful blade will surely rend all the remaining cars asunder. I must protect Her Majesty. I throw my blade's sheath at where the girl is falling and sprint with all my might. The girl shifts her trajectory in response to the unexpected projectile. That is when I strike. I clash blades with her head on and fling her away with all my might. The Empress Hisui's car cuts at the opposite lane and speeds into the distance. The girl is unable to pursue. She has to be wary of my follow-up attack. Suddenly a gunfire lights up our surroundings. A hail of bullets rains down upon the distracted girl. This could be a good one, actually, for pub 1. I'll save here as well. 12 shots. The cold steel rips into her slender body. Even so, the girl doesn't stop moving. She leaps to the side and uses the momentum to run up the wall of a building. She made an attempt on her hileless life. I won't allow her to escape. As I leap into the sky, I find my mark on the roof 2 buildings ahead. The girl is clutching her side as she bounds across the high-rise rooftops as though they were stepping stones. Moving through the air is an effective way of shaking pursuers in a city. That is, unless the one giving chase is a warrior. When the girl leaps down from her roof, I close the distance in an instant. The girl doubles over as soon as she lands. Even so, she manages to stay standing, supporting her weight over the blade. With a ragged breath, she takes one step forward, then another. I descend from the rooftops and land right behind her. She turns around. Even in the darkness, I can see her expression as clear as day. The moment our eyes met, the sound of our surroundings ceases to exist. Can't take my eyes off of her. Her amaranthine eyes are divine springs that shimmer with each ripple. Her appearance is elegant yet sensual, at once seemingly thoughtful, yet unmistakably exuding the aura of one governed by intense passions. She has all manner of expression, sublime into a single perfect gemstone, sublimed. I see this girl's phantasm in a vision that lasts but a split second. I've met her somewhere before. I remember not. My body tells me otherwise. Deep within my chest, my heart is hammering in a furious beat. The girl, too, fixes her gaze at me, forgetting even to blink. Untold emotions swirl within the depth of her limpid eyes. At last, they turn to words blossom forth from her efflorescent lips of Persica.
あなたに邪魔されるなんて。
俺を知っているのか。
忘れるはずないでしょ。
いつの話だ。どこで会った。
覚えてないんだ。
The girl breaks her gaze for the first time, looking downward. The girl mutters to herself before raising her head once more. She raises her blade with clear hostility. Her form is flawless without any clear openings.
俺たちはいつ会った。
もういい。
教えてくれ。
うるさい。
I lean back slightly to evade her beautiful diagonal slash. She steps in further and thrusts at my neck. The girl's blade work is orthodox and well practiced, but she's not achieved mastery, making her moves easy to see through. I twist my body to avoid the tip of her blade, and her defenseless flank appears right before my eye. Cutting her down would be all too easy. The girl panics and takes a distance.
私に情けをかけるつもり？
まずは俺のことを教えてほしい。
しつこい。
The girl tries to close in again, but her leg collapses out from under her. Blood seeps out from under her clothes. As it spreads across the white fabric, it resembles a camellia fallen onto fresh snow. The voices of the guards cut through the darkness.
こんなところで終われないのに私はまだおこのぎを
The girl tries to stand up, but her legs refuse to comply. She's approaching her limit. Once the guards arrive, we'll no longer be able to talk
もう
freely.
一度聞く。俺たちはいつどこで会った？
私を助けてくれたら教えてあげる。
無理な相談だ。陛下の命を狙った者を見逃すわけにはいかない。
だと思った。変わってないみたいね。
For some reason, the girl smiles a faint smile to herself. You hear a voice from behind. We're out of
投
time.
降した方がいい。
縄目の恥辱は受けない。
The girl thrusts her blade hard into the ground, and someone manages to come to her feet. Staggering all the while, she points its tip directly at me. Fresh flowers of crimson blossom all across her pale skin. Even nigh unto death, her fair and beautiful expression truly is. How beautiful and fair. In deference to her resolve, I steady my own
無
blade.
人。時田宗人。
時田宗司、ようやく名前が聞けた。
The girl smiles, a smile like a peach flower in full blossom, wholly unfit for someone on the very precipice of life.
私は宮国あかり、周防邸の第一皇女であり、ただ一人残された皇家の正当な後継者。
The princess?
ざれ言。呪詛刀を使える以上、お前には武人の血が流れている。皇家の人間であるわけがない。
私は昔から呪詛刀が使えるの。理由は知らないけど。
もういい、黙れ。
The girl calling herself Miyaguni purses her lips. A single peach petal drifting in from places unknown grazes against the tip of Miyaguni's blade as it flutters down to the
来
ground.
なさい。この首水底への土産にしたらいい。心配しないで。化けて出たりなんてしないから。
Miyaguni smiles faintly as if she's just told her best joke. At the sight of that unwavering smile, my body suddenly stiffens, just though every fibre of my being was resisting my will to strike her down. What is this? Once again, a vision flashes through my mind. Amaranthian eyes, her fluorescent persical lips. I know this girl. Don't kill her. You're a whisper in the back of my ears. Don't kill her. Protect this girl. The whisper turns into a deafening voice that thrums through my whole body. It's the voice of my instincts. A voice of absolute authority given shape by the very depth of my essence. Don't kill her. Protect this girl. That is your purpose. The raging fires of my instincts scorch away my reason in an instant. My body's compelled by a force I've never felt before.
いたぞ。
The enemy is 20 meters away. They number 7.
刀を借りる。
I snatch Miyaguni's blade from
そ
her.
の女は暗殺未遂犯だ。引き渡してほしい。従わねば共犯とみなす。
A row of rifle muzzles glares at me. My answer is
断
obvious.
る。
A salve of supersonic bullets spews forth, racing straight from my heart. If they strike true, even a warrior will not come out unscathed. But
無人か。おい、手加減するな。
in the next moment, hundreds of bullets close in to tear us to shreds. Evading them would be simple enough if I were alone. But if I move, Miyaguni will die. Then what do I do? What do I do? If I can't dodge, then my only option is to repel them. With but a single swing of my blade. Can I do it? Doubt flickers through my mind. Nah, this isn't a matter of can or can't do. I must. Put everything on the line to protect her. Protect that which is most precious to me until the very end. The edge of my blade breaks the sound barrier. The rumbling vibrations pierce through the earth, shattering the surrounding glass like icicles. A thick cloud of dust envelops the guards and steers away their line of sight. Not a single one of their countless bullets reaches me. Did I do it? Doesn't feel like I did. But the lingering numbness in my right hand is proof enough. Pull Miyaguni in by the arm. You kinda have to kill them? They know your face now? Again, they know your face! You have been witnessed! That is an issue! You're still committing a crime! No witnesses! No witnesses! And I leap toward the night sky. I alight on the rooftop with a single bound and leap again without delay. The thank you nightscape streams past my eyes at high
落ち
speeds.
るなよ。
Miyaguni clings to me tightly. My attention drifts to the touch of her warm body nestled against me and the softness of her hair caressing my neck. How beautiful. The first thought that comes to mind is a simple idiotic one. Her porcelain white skin, her effervescent persica lips, as well as her ample chest makes its softness known even through our clothes. Her lusciously gleaming thighs laid bare by the strong winds are so captivating that I can't help but find my gaze drawn to them. Jesus Christ. Within her is both the firmness of an adolescent girl and the softness of a mature woman, her body concealing a sublime divinity as a bud about to blossom. What the fuck? I feel my temperature rising just from holding her. This man is down bad. Like he's like a fancy down bad. Like he is down bad, but at least he dresses us up. At least a little. Niguni jolts at every sudden impact of landing. Her wounds are not light. Her life is in danger if she doesn't get treatment soon.
必ず助ける。
This unfamiliar girl named Miyaguni Akari. This preposterous, reprehensible girl who not only claims to be the imperial family, but even attacked her majesty. This girl who, if it truly lived for fealty, I should never have saved. At this very moment I am turning my back on the fealty I swore to Empress Hisui, and my heart burns bright red with an excitement the likes of which I've never felt before. It's as though the hollow of my chest that's been there ever since I lost my memories is now being kindled from within. So light. My body and soul are as light as if I've grown wings. In this very moment the chains binding my body are nowhere to be found. This is my true self. She is what I've been searching for all this time. All the tiresome logic in the world could not refute this feeling I feel deep in my very bones. Oh, another view.
私だ。情報を集め適切に対応するように。
Okanogi gives us dispassionate orders and ends the call.
護衛の方は無事でしょうか？
The girl asks, her eyebrows curved with unease. Rather than answer her question, Okanogi takes out a cigarette and lights it. Smoke fills the car. For a mere retainer to ignore Her Majesty's question, let alone smoke in her presence, would normally be an unthinkable affront. However, the relationship between the two is not that of lord and vassal. The true identity of Empress Hisui, so revered by her people, is Toki Takanami, the daughter of a warrior family of middling status.
襲ってきたのは何者でしょう？私には何も見えませんでした。
Okanogi does not answer. He turns his deeply wrinkled face to the window and gazes at the unrelenting snow.
お前、雪は好きか？
The sudden question perplexes Kaname. The more she tries to think of an answer, the more confused she becomes.
好きです。昔、雪うさぎを作って遊びました。
By the time she answers, nearly 10 seconds have passed. Okanogi says nothing. He vaguely exhales a breath of smoke and follows its trail with his eyes. The girl finally decides to break the silence.
おこのぎ様、兄は見つかりましたでしょうか？
捜索中だ。今のところ手がかりはない。
さようでございますか。引き続きよろしくお願いいたします。
There's the customary exchange for the two of them. After hostilities ceased, Kaname agreed to become the substitute empress, conditioned on a search for her brother, whom the war had separated from her. To impersonate the empress is a mortal sin comparable with taking her very life. Some may consider it to be even more wicked in the sense that it defiles the entire imperial institution. Born and raised in a family that places fealty above all, accepting Okanogi's condition felt Kaname like swallowing molten lead, and her love for her brother surpassed even her dreadful guilt. For 3 years now, Kaname has repeated this same exchange with Okanogi. Okanogi is not actually searching for my brother. Okanogi is only deceiving me. Her suspicion has nearly solidified into conviction, but Kaname still cannot bring herself to call off the search. She feels that the moment she does so would be the moment her brother's death becomes a irrefutable fact. What's more, even if she were to end her search, Kaname could not simply regain her freedom. She can easily imagine how Okanogi might silence her. Furthermore, Kaname has one final concern, that if her brother is ever to be found, he would be killed by Okonogi. Following the war, Okonogi has purged any and all opposition that surrounds him. If there was to be anyone who knew Empress Hisui's true identity, he would surely eliminate them without mercy. The only fate worse than for her brother to remain missing would very well be for him to be found. On the horns of this dilemma, Kaname continues to play the role of Empress Hisui.
お兄様、お目にかかりとうございます。
Kaname gazes out the window, dreaming of the snow rabbits she once made in her family's yard. She dreams of the verdant green bamboo and vivid red berries that pierced that pure white background, and the gentle hand of her brother patting her on the head. You know, this feels like a very good place to end it already, I feel. Haven't had all that time to myself today because of bullshit. Anyways, but yeah, gonna end it here already. Don't worry, you get some more tomorrow. Honestly, God, I do kind of want to continue playing, but at the same time, I want some peace and quiet for a little bit. Context for what happened. I was woken up to eat, then had to go over to the graveyard because, well, the day after Halloween, fucking not Alla Heiligen. I don't know if All Hallows Eve. Is it like All Hallows Day or something? I don't know. So you go to the graveyard. There's a service. We went like roughly 30 minutes after the service in the actual church started because that shit should not take that long. It started an hour and a half afterwards. We were standing around for a fucking hour and then had to stand for another half hour. And I had to do that on sleep deprivation because, by God, I have not been sleeping well the past few days to only then be woken up early for this service that wasn't going to start for another 3 hours. I can't. Yeah, suffice it to say, I proceed to lay the fuck down for a nap afterwards. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you next time. Bye-bye.